Coming up, we learn how financial troubles may have led to the death of an Iowa healthcare budget official. And later, get ready to hear our final City Council profile of Megan Alter.
Guess who's back? Back again.
Bye week's back. Tell a friend.
Iowa football's presser in a few.
I wish I didn't have to say this, but it's going to snow again. Stay tuned for weather to find out how it's going to affect your Halloween plans.
All that and more coming up on this Wednesday edition of DITV News. Don't move, DITV starts right now. Good morning and thank you for tuning in. I'm Emily Callahan. The husband of UI healthcare budget official is being charged with first-degree murder. Jo Ellen Browning had questioned her husband about discrepancies in their financial records before her husband allegedly stabbed Browning to death in April. Court records cast light on this potential motive for Browning's death. Browning had life insurance worth more than $2 million while her husband did not have a source of revenue. To learn more about this story, visit thedailyiowan.com. And we continue our City Council profiles for the upcoming City Council election. Yesterday, we profiled Laura Burgess, and today we discuss Megan Alter to see her plans to move Iowa City forward.
The city as a whole needs to accommodate inclusion. I think it really is actually not just saying, we're here, we're open, but actively going to immigrant groups and welcoming them and asking their opinion about what they need, what they see. The more that Iowa City grows, the more we need to strengthen our community through allowing more people access to the kinds of things that are necessary for daily existence in a way that they shouldn't have to struggle for.
Alter touched on multiple things from affordable housing to working to strengthen our diversity. City Council elections will take place on November 5th. Well, in the meantime, it looks like it's getting pretty chilly out, but let's toss it over to Melissa in the weather studio with more.
Thanks, Emily. More snow is on its way. Over the next couple of days, Des Moines is going to be receiving about 1 inch of snow, and in Iowa City, we're going to be receiving 1 to 3 inches of snow. The snow is most likely going to start sometime today, so let's look at the forecast for Iowa City. Today's high is going to be 38 degrees with a 40% chance of snow and cloudy skies. As we head into tonight, the temperature will drop to 27 degrees, and we'll have a 60% chance of snow. Now let's take a look at the extended forecast. Tomorrow will be partly cloudy with a high of 36 and a low of 23 with winds around 15 miles per hour. On Friday, it'll be cloudy with a high of 41. This weekend, on Saturday, it'll be partly cloudy with a high in the low 40s. On Sunday, it'll warm up a little bit and we'll have a high in the upper 40s. And on Monday, it'll be cloudy with a high in the upper 40s and a 40% chance of rain. If you haven't gotten your Halloween costume yet, I suggest you dress up as something warm. Emily, back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Melissa. Yesterday, faculty from the University of Iowa gathered on the Pentacrest to demand the UI administration change its current sick leave policy. The Service Employees International Union said the current policy does not give the needed days off to its non-tenured track professors. The SEIU have created a petition in the hopes of creating a sick leave bank for members of the faculty to use as needed.
If you stop teaching, you stop getting health care. And there's about a 5-month gap before catastrophic insurance kicks in. So you're left to your own devices during that gap. And that's why all of us are at risk, and that's why we're also here, because we still don't have a sick leave bank, and that's what we want.
Faculty senators were given no context about the previous policy that had been on the table. They were given no facts about how ineffective the policy on the sheet of paper in their hands would be.
If you're interested in more information, be sure to check out the SEIU Facebook page. Now for an update on the future of paying college athletes. Last night, the NCAA Board of Governors announced that after a unanimous vote, it will allow college athletes to benefit financially from the use of their image, name, and likeness.
I'm really enthusiastic about what the board has done. It's in a very important step toward modernization of NCAA rules to provide more opportunity for our students. So that's an inherently good thing for everybody. I think that the schools are going to be able to work through this process and come up with rules that make great sense for the student athletes and allow universities to continue their collegiate model of athletics. That's what we're all trying to do here.
In September, California passed the law that triggered this policy change. For now, it is not clear what the NCAA means by the benefit, but the ball is finally moving. But let's hear a little bit more about sports here at Iowa. Tanner and Dallas, what do y'all have for us?
It's bye week for football, but I think it's more of a pre-Wisconsin week.
And the HAWKEYE coaching staff is using this week to prepare for the big showdown in Madison.
You know, at the end of the day, this game has always been about who can stop the run. And, you know, that's kind of been our trademark, you know, since Norm arrived here, since Phil arrived here, is, you know, stop the run and then see where it goes from there. So, you know, we've got to commit ourselves to, you know, to making sure that we take care of, you know, some of the deficiencies from last year's game.
Iowa and Wisconsin sit at 6-2 right now in the Big Ten, but the Minnesota Golden Gophers sit at 8-0 and control their destiny for the Big Ten West Championship.
While the Iowa football offense and the weather outside has been cold, the Iowa women's soccer team has been red hot this season.
This past weekend, the Hawks took on Ohio State and got another win in double overtime.
DITV sports reporter Tiana Torrejon has more on how this team has made history.
This season, the women's soccer team has left their mark by tying the 2013 school record with 15 wins. They chalked up the most wins in a single season and are now headed to Penn State for postseason play in hope of making it to the NCAA double tournament.
It's unbelievable. Like, I have no words. It's just amazing knowing that we're leaving our legacy on this program, and with this group of seniors that we have, so many of them making such a big impact all 4 years that they've been here. It's amazing that we get to leave a legacy like this.
I don't know if they really count the wins, to be honest. We're a pretty process-driven group, and every day they, you know, go to work and try to get better. And I think in the end of the day, I think yesterday we just went, oh wow, we've won 14 games, and which is a fantastic season. But the 15 games is something just as part of the process, and it's part of about trying to get the highest seed in the Big Ten as we can, and then hopefully get in the NCAA tournament for the first time since 2013. So those are things that are really important to us, and it just so happens that you know, we've had a good season where we've won some good games, and wins have stacked up, and they seem to believe.
Reporting from the HAWKEYE Soccer Complex, this is Tiana Torrejon, DITV Sports.
This resilient group of girls earned the 5th seed in the Big Ten tournament and will take on Penn State on Sunday in the quarterfinal.
And speaking of finals, the Iowa field hockey season is winding down, and I took a look at the Hawks as they get set for the Big Ten tournament in a couple weeks.
The University of Iowa field hockey team won their last regular season game of the year against the Northwestern Wildcats. The team's new focus now seems to be on the Big Ten tournament coming up next week.
Set some great stuff up for us. You know, we've got a championship to play for next week, so we're just going to really attack this week going into it. Michigan are ahead of a strong team, and we just got to take everything we have to them.
The focus this week seems to be how Iowa can be better prepared coming into the game. That way, they can find ways to defeat Michigan in order to share the regular season Big Ten title with Maryland.
We have a big game next Sunday at Michigan, and we're excited for it, and we just have to continue to get better in the next 7 days.
Iowa is doing their best to prepare so they can reach some of their season goals.
I think we always talked about going for that Big Ten championship. We want our name up on one of the banners around the field again, and I think just keep pushing, keep being the best team that we can. We keep talking about improving every week, and that's just something that we want to keep doing going into the postseason, but we're not done yet, hopefully.
But before the Big Ten tournament, the Hawks will head to Ann Arbor for their last regular season game against the Wolverines.
If Iowa was able to pull away with a win, they could tie Maryland for a share of the Big Ten title for the first time in over a decade. Well, Tanner, we are done with sports, but tomorrow we have our season preview of Iowa wrestling.
Well, in the famous words of wrestler Hulk Hogan, what you gonna do, brother?
Back to you, Emily.
All right, well, it's good to know at least Tanner's ready for wrestling season. But that's all we have for you on this Wednesday morning edition of DITV News. Be sure to head over to thedailyiowan.com for all your latest news between Monday and Friday. And if that is enough of the Daily Iowan for you, be sure to check out our print edition of the news on stands now. I'm Emily Callahan. Try to have a warm day, Iowa City.